Hello. I wanted to hop on because I wanted to share this experience that I had lately. So we're in 2020, we're in a new decade, and at the end of 2019, I did this activity called A Decade in Review. Part of it was looking at the past 10 years, looking at what you've accomplished, what your major successes have been, what you want to celebrate, where you've grown, but it also looks at things like where could you have done better, what were your challenges, what held you back, what were things you wanted to do but didn't do. It was a really, really powerful experience. I went into it not really expecting anything, but I thought, okay, this is amazing. I was really happy I did it. Kind of. What ended up happening though was, while I had a lot to celebrate and while I realized you can accomplish a lot in 10 years, and who you are at the beginning of the 10 years can be completely different than who you are at the end of the 10 years. There's a lot of ways you can grow, a lot of ways you can change, but I had a couple things that I wrote down as goals starting 10 years ago, literally 10 years ago, that stayed goals on my document, my goal document, year after year after year, quarter after quarter after quarter for 10 years. It's so embarrassing to admit this, but they were things that I wanted to start, things that I wanted to put out into the world. Things like, quite honestly, start a video podcast, or not a video podcast, but start a video show on YouTube, right? 10 years ago, YouTube wasn't huge, and I wanted to start a video show. So I saw these goals that I wrote for 10 years, but never took action on. And quite honestly, it pissed me off. It just sort of lit a fire under me. And I was like, no, I am not spending the next 10 years of my life wanting and hoping and wishing for the things that I want to do, for the things that I want to contribute to the world to happen. I'm not doing it. So it was actually this really powerful experience, because what was funny was the things that I wanted to do, take for instance, starting a video show. The people that I follow now who are wildly successful with that all say, yeah, I started 10 years ago. And it's just like, oh no, if I would have just started, if I would have just done it 10 years ago, where could I be today? And that was the lesson for me. Don't put things off. So what are you putting off? What is it that you want to do that you might be putting off? You might be afraid, you might feel like you don't have the resources, you might feel like you don't have all the information, or who are you to do this thing? But what is it? Stop putting it off. Don't be like me. Don't wait a decade to start the things you want to do. Okay? I'm not one of those people who is just naturally motivated and has endless energy. I'm just not. So I have to work a little bit harder to get things going sometimes. And maybe you're like that too. But let me tell you, don't wait. Okay, so what are you putting off that you want to do? Start it. Just start it in some way. It doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be massive. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just do something. Just start something. Start it so that in 10 years from now, you can look back and you can see how it's grown and it's evolved and it's adapted and it's changed and you've grown and you've evolved. Don't look back 10 years from now and go, oh man, I still didn't do that thing that I've been wanting to do. So I don't know what it is that you want to do. I don't know what it is that you are hoping to achieve, but start. Just start now. Start imperfectly and just do the thing you want to do, so that in 10 years from now, when you do the decade in review, you can look back and you can be so proud of yourself and have seen all the progress that you're making. All right, so that's my little thought for the day. I hope it encourages you. I hope you can do something and just start small. Just start small, but start. That's the important thing. All right, friends, stay curious.